Across the dry deserts of South Asia, in a land where we now see only dust and ruins, once stood a civilization far ahead of its time. A society that built cities like modern engineers, had clean water systems in every home, but left behind almost no readable trace of its existence. Who were they? How did they live? And most importantly, why did they disappear so suddenly? The Indus Valley Civilization emerged around 3300 BCE, rising alongside the great empires of Egypt and Mesopotamia. But unlike those ancient powers, filled with kings, wars, and detailed records, the Indus people left behind almost nothing about themselves. No grand statues of rulers, no massive temples to gods, no epic stories carved in stone. Yet, they built two of the most advanced cities of the ancient world, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. Let's travel back 5,000 years. While much of the world was still living in small farming villages, the Indus people did the impossible. They created cities planned like modern grids, with straight streets laid out in a pattern similar to New York City today. This level of urban planning was unheard of for its time. And when archaeologists first uncovered these cities, what they found was truly shocking. First, their drainage systems. Every single house had its own bathroom and toilet, connected to a sophisticated underground sewage network. Covered drains ran along the streets, keeping the city clean and hygienic. In many ways, their sanitation systems were cleaner and more advanced than those of many cities in the world, even a few centuries ago. This wasn't just a luxury for the rich. It was a citywide standard. Next, their bricks. Look closely at the ruins, and you'll notice something incredible. Every single brick used to build these massive cities had the exact same size and ratio. This means they had industrial standards, a system of mass production that was extremely rare for the ancient world. It shows a level of organization and central planning that is mind-boggling. They didn't just build houses. They engineered cities. These weren't simple mud huts either. People lived in multi-story homes made from these standardized baked bricks. The cities had public markets, large granaries for storing food, and even a massive public structure known as the Great Bath, which might have been used for religious or community gatherings. But here's what's truly remarkable. Despite the size and complexity of these cities, archaeologists have found almost no weapons and very few signs of warfare. There are no fortified walls built for defense, no depictions of battles. This suggests they were an incredibly peaceful society, a stark contrast to the constant conflict seen in other ancient civilizations. So we have these advanced, clean, and peaceful cities. But there's a huge piece of the puzzle missing: their language. The Indus people left behind thousands of small artifacts, mostly soapstone seals, covered in a unique script. But even after a century of research, no one has been able to read it. Not a single word, not a single sentence. Why is it so hard to decipher? For one, we have no Rosetta Stone, a parallel text that translates the Indus script into a known language. All we have are very short inscriptions, usually just 4 or 5 symbols long. It's like trying to learn English by only reading license plates. Some experts even question if it's a true writing system at all, or just a collection of symbols representing families, gods, or trade goods. Without understanding their language, we can't know their history, their beliefs, or who they truly were. Their entire world remains silent to us, and the symbols they left behind only deepen the mystery. These tiny seals are filled with images that continue to confuse archaeologists. One of the most famous is a figure sitting in a posture very similar to the Hindu god Shiva, surrounded by animals. Is this an early depiction of a major deity, or just a powerful shaman? We also see incredible carvings of animals, bulls, rhinos, and elephants are common. But then there are stranger things, like creatures that seem to be a mix of different animals, or the recurring image of a unicorn. Were these religious symbols? Trade markings? Coats of arms? We simply don't know. Then, around 1900 BCE, after more than 1,000 years of prosperity, the Indus civilization began to collapse. The great cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro were slowly abandoned. But unlike other ancient empires that fell to invaders, there are no signs of a massive war, no burned cities, no layers of ash and destruction. So what happened? The leading theory is climate change. Scientists have evidence evidence that the monsoon patterns shifted, and major rivers that sustained their agriculture, like the Gagahakra, began to dry up. Without water, farming would have become impossible, forcing people to leave the cities in search of new resources. Other theories suggest a series of catastrophic earthquakes or floods could have crippled the region. Some have proposed that waves of migrating people, known as the Aryans, moved into the area, leading to a cultural shift, though there's no solid evidence of a violent invasion. It could have also been a widespread disease or a slow economic collapse. But the strangest part is how it all looks. The cities appear as if the people just walked away. They left their homes, their streets, and their entire way of life to be swallowed by the dust. The Indus Valley Civilization remains one of humanity's greatest unsolved mysteries. A society that was advanced, peaceful, clean, organized, and technologically brilliant. They had mastered urban planning and sanitation at a time when London and Paris were millennia away from having sewers. Yet they vanished, leaving behind almost no clues to their identity or their fate. The truth still lies buried beneath the deserts of Pakistan and India. Perhaps one day, if we finally decode their secret script, we will uncover the full story of this silent, magnificent civilization. If you enjoy ancient mysteries like this, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into history's greatest puzzles. Thanks for watching.